What if the secret to reigniting your strength as a man, your energy, your blood flow, even your erections wasn't found in a pill, but in a spice you've ignored your whole life? A spice so powerful when chewed for just seaside 60 seconds. It could awaken blood vessels that have been asleep for years. Sound impossible? Stay with me. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara for over 30 years. I've helped men in their 60s, 70s and beyond reclaim their confidence, performance and intimacy naturally, without relying on medications that only offer short-term relief. I'm not here to sell hype. I'm here to give you what works, based on clinical science and proven in the lives of real men. Because here's the paradox. Most men think their problem is testosterone. But what I've seen time and time again is that the real issue is blood flow, and more specifically, nitric oxide. The miracle molecule your body stops producing after 60, yet desperately needs for circulation and strong, lasting erections. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you a simple 60-second habit, something you can start tomorrow morning, that uses a natural spice to kickstart your nitric oxide system, improve circulation, and unlock the strength you thought was gone for good. And we're just getting started. Because in a moment, I'll share the powerful story of a 67-year-old man who hadn't had a full erection in 8 years. Until he tried this, what happened next? Surprised even me. Let's dive into the truth most doctors never tell you, and how this one spice could change everything. Before we dive in, if you're a man over 60 looking for real, natural ways to restore your strength and vitality, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, so you never miss another tip that could change your health. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me create content that truly serves you. Let me start by sharing the story of a patient that perfectly illustrates just how powerful this simple 60-second habit can be. His name is Jerry, 67 years old, retired firefighter. Tough as nails on the outside, but quietly struggling with something deeply personal. What happened to him after just 2 weeks of trying this spice shocked even me, and it might just open your eyes to what's still possible. No matter your age, Jerry's hidden strength returns at 67. I'll never forget the first time Jerry walked into my office. He was 67 years old, a retired firefighter from Texas, with shoulders broad from a life of hard work. But the way he sat down told me something was weighing on him. He leaned in a little closer and said quietly, "Doc, it's been years. I feel like something inside me just shut down." He hadn't had a full erection in nearly a decade. He loved his wife deeply, but their intimacy had slowly faded. Morning wood gone. That sense of vitality and energy fading with each year. He told me he tried pills. At first they gave him a spark, but over time even the pills stopped working. And they came with headaches, flushed skin, and a growing sense of frustration. "I just don't feel like a man anymore," he admitted, eyes cast down. "I've heard this before from hundreds of men his age, and every time it reminds me why I do what I do. Because what Jerry was going through isn't rare. It's not shameful, and it's definitely not the end." After looking at his labs and lifestyle, one thing was clear. It wasn't a hormone problem. It was a blood flow problem. His nitric oxide levels were dangerously low, and his vascular system wasn't responding the way it used to. So I gave him a challenge. No pills, no surgery. Just a simple habit every morning. He would take a small pinch of a natural spice cayenne pepper, chew it for 60 seconds, then rinse with warm water. That's it. He looked at me like I was crazy. But Jerry did it, and 2 weeks later, he came back. This time, he walked in with a different posture, shoulders up, chest open. A grin that said everything. "Dosi," he said. I woke up like I was 30 again. His wife, she was smiling too. What happened inside Jerry's body wasn't magic. It was biology, and it all started with that single pinch of spice. Now you're probably wondering, why cayenne? What's actually happening in your body when you chew it for 60 seconds? The answer lies in a natural compound that most men overlook. Completely. And it's time you knew the full truth. To the spice that awakens circulation in 60 seconds. When I first told Jerry to chew cayenne pepper, he blinked twice and said, "You mean the stuff I sprinkle on chili?" I nodded, but not sprinkle. I said chew a small pinch. "Just 60 seconds. He looked at me like I'd asked him to walk through fire. And I get it, cayenne is spicy. But what most men don't realize is that behind that heat lies a natural power few ever tap into. Cayenne pepper contains a compound called capsaicin. That's the part that gives it its fire. But more importantly, capsaicin is a natural vasodilator. It signals your blood vessels to relax and open up. It's like turning on a garden hose that's been kinked for years. The blood starts flowing freely again. Oxygen reaches your muscles. Nerves start firing, and yes, circulation to your lower body wakes up fast. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you chew cayenne, not swallow it in a capsule. You stimulate specific nerve endings in your mouth and throat, called TRPV1 receptors. These receptors are wired directly to your cardiovascular system. The moment capsaicin hits them, your body begins releasing nitric oxide. Almost instantly, it's a powerful biological response that's faster and more natural than most medications. This is why chewing cayenne works so quickly. You feel it. Your body warms up. Your heart rate may gently rise. Some men even notice a slight tingling in their hands or feet. That's blood moving where it hasn't in a while. It's not just theory. There are studies confirming that capsaicin helps lower blood pressure, improve vascular flexibility, and increase microcirculation, all of which directly support stronger, longer-lasting erections. Now, I'm not saying this is a miracle fix, but I've seen men who were convinced they were done suddenly get their confidence back, not by adding more chemicals to their bodies, but by unlocking the power already built into them. Still, not all cayenne is created equal. And if you're going to try this yourself, there are a few important things you need to know, because the wrong kind or the wrong amount can do more harm than good. Let me show you exactly how to use this safely and correctly. 3. Why this works, especially over 60. Every man over 60 who sat in my office has asked some version of the same question. Is this really going to work at my age? And I always give them the same answer. Not only can it work, it's often more effective for men in their 60s and 70s than for those in their 40s. Why? Because once you understand what's really going on inside your body, it all starts to make sense. As we age, one of the most critical molecules in the male body, nitric oxide, begins to decline rapidly. By age 60, most men are producing less than 25% of what they did in their 20s. That means blood vessels are stiffer, narrower, and less responsive. It's not that your drive is gone. It's that your blood just can't get where it needs to go. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your arteries to relax and expand. It's your body's natural way of creating blood flow. Without it, even the strongest desire won't turn into a physical response. That's why the most powerful changes often happen when we restore this one key function. When you chew cayenne pepper, especially in the morning, you're not just waking up your taste buds. You're triggering a nitric oxide release through the saliva glands and mucous membranes. This isn't a theory. It's backed by science. And it's something I've seen work again and again. And here's the part that surprised even me when I first studied it. The response time is fast. Men often feel a difference in their warmth, circulation, and even alertness in just a few days. That's because the body wants to work. It wants to heal. Sometimes it just needs the right nudge. For men in their 60s and beyond, this isn't about reversing the clock. It's about reclaiming function that was never truly lost, just dormant like Jerry. Many men are shocked to find that their body can still respond, if you give it the right message. But to get those benefits safely, you need to be smart. You need to know what kind of cayenne to use, how much, and exactly how to build up your tolerance without burning out. And that's what I'm going to walk you through next. Because trust me, you don't want to get this part wrong. For not all cayenne is created equal. One of the biggest mistakes I see men make when they try this method is grabbing whatever cayenne they can find from the back of their spice rack, or worse, drowning their food in hot sauce and calling it a day. Let me be clear, not all cayenne is created equal. And if you want real results, you've got to do this right. When I told Jerry to chew cayenne, I gave him very specific instructions. No capsules, no vinegar-based sauces. I told him to find pure organic cayenne powder, ideally between 30,000 to 50,000 Scoville heat units. That's the sweet spot, strong enough to activate the receptors and nitric oxide release, but not so hot it causes discomfort or damage. The form matters too. Powder is best because it mixes instantly with your saliva, which is what triggers the nitric oxide production. Capsules skip that step entirely. And those spicy sauces, they're often loaded with preservatives, salt or vinegar that dilute the effect or irritate your gut. Start with a tiny pinch, less than 1 to 4 teaspoons. Place it on your tongue, do slowly, and breathe through your nose. You'll feel warmth rise in your chest, maybe even a slight burn in your throat. That's okay, that's your body responding. But if it's overwhelming, don't push through it. Rinse your mouth with warm water or a teaspoon of honey. Let your body adapt at its own pace. And here's something most men don't expect. After just a few days, that burn, it gets easier, your body adjusts. What felt like fire on day 1 becomes a daily awakening by day 5. And with that adaptation comes results. Better circulation, clearer thinking, and more responsiveness in the bedroom. But remember, this isn't just about the spice. It's about consistency and the way you use it. And if you want to take this even further, there's something else I've been teaching my patients. A simple reason why older men often respond faster and more dramatically to this kind of natural stimulation. It's something I've seen play out over and over. And when you hear it, you'll understand why your age may actually be your biggest advantage. 5. Why older men respond faster. This might surprise you, but in all my years working with men, I've seen something remarkable. Men over 60 often respond faster, and more noticeably to natural circulation boosters, like cayenne, than younger men do. I've seen it in their blood pressure. I've seen it in their morning energy. And yes, I've seen it in their bedroom performance. At first even I questioned it. But after years of working with patients like Jerry, I've come to understand why. The truth is, when a man's body has been running on empty for years, poor circulation, low nitric oxide, sluggish blood flow introducing a stimulant like cayenne is like pouring fresh oil into a rusty engine. The change is obvious because the gap between where you are and where your body wants to be is bigger, and once you bridge that gap, the results feel powerful. Your blood vessels may be stiffer, your nitric oxide levels lower, but your body still remembers what it means to function. Like it used to, you're not broken, you're dormant, And once that blood starts moving again, once your vascular system gets the signal to open up and breathe, everything changes. You sleep better. Your hands and feet warm up. Your mind feels clearer. Your confidence starts returning one morning at a time. That's why so many of my older patients tell me they feel young again after just a week or two of this simple habit, not because they're chasing youth, but because they're finally giving their body what it's been asking for all along. Real circulation, real blood flow, real oxygen, and nothing fakes that. Now, if you're starting to feel a sense of possibility here, that's good, but I want to be honest with you. None of this works without consistency. This isn't a one-time magic trick. It's a tool, and like any tool, it has to be used correctly and regularly. In fact, one of my patients started seeing results in just 5 days. But what really accelerated his progress was adding 5 simple tweaks to his daily routine. They're easy, natural, and they multiply the effect of cayenne significantly. I'll walk you through each of them step by step, starting with the most important one. Next 6, Jerry's results after 14 days. Plus tips to maximize this method. When Jerry came back for his follow-up 2 weeks later, I barely recognized him. His posture had changed. He looked lighter on his feet, like someone had flipped a switch. He sat down, leaned in, and said with a quiet smile, "Doc, it worked." There was no dramatic build-up, no exaggeration, just that one sentence filled with both surprise and relief. He told me he started noticing changes after just the 4th day. First, he woke up feeling warmer. Then he noticed his feet weren't cold anymore. By day 7, he had his first morning erection in years. But the real turning point came around day 12. Not only was he more responsive during intimacy, but his confidence had returned in a way he hadn't felt in over a decade. Now Jerry didn't change everything overnight. But he was consistent. He followed my instructions exactly. Same time every morning. A small pinch of organic cayenne powder chewed slowly for 60 seconds, then rinsed with warm water. He listened to his body. He didn't rush it. And most importantly, he gave it a fair chance. To help you get the same kind of results, here are 5 simple tips I give all my patients. First, do it in the morning on an empty stomach. It triggers a stronger nitric oxide response. Second, breathe through your nose as you chew to stay calm and steady. Third, follow up with warm lemon water to soothe your throat and support blood vessel health. Fourth, add a short power pose after to reinforce testosterone signaling. And finally, track how you feel each day. Small changes often go unnoticed unless you pay attention. These 5 steps take just a few minutes, but when done consistently, they amplify the effect of cayenne and create a real shift in your health and energy. But we're not done yet, because now that you've seen what cayenne can do, I want to show you something even more powerful, a natural drink. You can combine with this habit to boost your results even further. It's simple, it's fast, and it uses ingredients you probably already have at home. Let me show you exactly how to make it. Conclusion. If there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's that change is possible even after 60. You don't need to settle for declining energy, weak circulation, or the quiet frustration of fading intimacy. Jerry didn't, and neither should you. We started with a single pinch of cayenne pepper. Something so simple, so ordinary. Most men overlook it, but when used the right way, chewed slowly, intentionally for just 60 seconds, it becomes something else entirely. A trigger, a wake-up call for your blood vessels. A message to your body that it's time to come alive again. We talked about why this works. How nitric oxide, the very molecule that fuels erections and blood flow, begins to vanish with age. and how cayenne reactivates that system through real biology. Not gimmicks, we broke down the science, the safety and the steps. We looked at why men over 60, like you, are often the ones who benefit the most. Not because youth returns, but because circulation does. And with that comes strength, clarity, confidence, and connection. And Jerry, after 14 days, he wasn't just performing better. He was living better, more energy, better sleep, deeper intimacy, and a quiet pride that you could hear in his voice. That's what I want for you too. Because no matter how long it's been, you are not done. Your strength is still there, waiting. Start small, stay consistent. Trust the process, and if you're ready for the next step, I'll show you how to make a simple, natural drink that supercharges this habit and takes your results even further. It's time to reclaim what's yours. Let's keep going. If this video helped you or gave you hope, please take a moment to like, share, and leave a comment below. Your feedback means everything. It helps me create better content for men just like you. If you've tried this method or have questions, drop them in the comments. And if you'd like to support this mission to bring natural, honest health advice to more men over 60, consider making a small donation through the link below. Every bit helps us keep this message alive. You're not alone in this, and together we can make a real difference.